before names were changed and the spirits silenced, the soil of Zimbabwe remembered its people. In the hills of Mashonaland, among granite outcrops and sacred rivers, the ancestors spoke through chosen voices. One of those voices was Nehanda Nyakasikana, not a queen crowned with gold, but a woman crowned with spirit, whose words shook an empire. This is not just a story of resistance. It is a story of belief and of a people who refuse to forget who they are. Nehanda Nyakasikana lived in the late 19th century, during a time when the Shona people governed themselves through clan leaders, spirit mediums, and ancestral law. She was the medium of Nehanda, a powerful Mohondoro spirit, a royal ancestral spirit tied to land, rain, and justice. Through her, the ancestors spoke. People came to her not for war, but for guidance. When rains failed, when disputes rose, when the land itself seemed restless. She wore no crown. Her power came from memory. In the 1890s, strangers arrived carrying paper loads, rifles, and promises that turned to dust. They came under the banner of the British South Africa Company, claiming land they had never walked upon. Fields were seized, sacred sites were violated, cattle, the wealth of the people, was taken. To the Shona, this was not politics, it was spiritual desecration. And Nehanda spoke. She warned the people. The land rejects them. The ancestors reject them. Her words traveled from village to village, carried by drumbeats and whispers. In 1896, resistance rose, not as a single army, but as a people's uprising. It would later be called the First Chimurenga, the War of Liberation. Nehanda did not fight with weapons. She fought with conviction. She urged unity. She urged courage. She urged remembrance. Spirit mediums across the land echoed her call. The people believed. If the ancestors stood with them, no empire could endure. The uprising shook colonial authority, and so Nehanda was captured. She was brought before a foreign court, judged by laws that did not know her people, her spirits, or her land. They accused her of rebellion. She did not deny her role. To them, she was dangerous. To her people, she was truth. In 1898, Nehanda Nyakasikana was executed. But before her death, she spoke words that would echo across generations. Mapfupa angu achanguka. My bones will rise. She was not speaking of herself alone. She was speaking of Zimbabwe. Decades later, her words would be remembered during the Second Chimurenga, when the land finally reclaimed its name and its voice. Today, Nehanda is not buried in silence. Her name lives in streets, songs, and memory. She reminds us that freedom does not always begin with weapons. Sometimes it begins with belief. She was not just a woman. She was not just a medium. She was a nation remembering itself. If this story moved you, If it awakens something ancient within you, then walk this path with us again. Like, share, and subscribe to Whispering African Tales, where Africa's heroes are remembered with truth, and the past is told with dignity. Until the next whisper, may the ancestors guide your steps.